Greetings. So I was supposed to have a different video out today, different deck video I should say, but I saw these cards come out and I just have to like go through them just because these cards are coming out with the expansion again, and I like how they're coming out real quick. So this is actually wonderful. So let's just get straight to the first card. So actually before we do that, let's go back to the thread here. So this is where I'm getting my information from. In case you don't know, of course I'll leave a link in the description below. And yeah, without any further ado, let's go to the first card. So the first card we have here is the Iron Falcon Knife Juggler. It is a 4 provision, 1 power, 1 armor for 2 overall life. It is a neutral card, and on deploy, you give 2 random enemy units bleeding for 2 turns. So this, I can see this card just going for a bleeding deck. If it does play its overall value, it will be a 6 for 4. Although getting to that 6 probably will take like, you know, quite a while. And I only see this card really working for bleed monster unless they're planning to support more bleeding cards in other factions as well in the future. So I didn't think too much of this card. When I saw the name Knife Juggler, reminds me of that card from Hearthstone, so that's nice. And yeah, Human Bandit, cool. I don't know, it wasn't not a good start so far, but it's okay, I suppose. Next card, we have the Salamandra Assassin. So this card is a syndicate card, 5 provision with 4 power and 1 armor for 5 total life. It does have the intimidate keyword, and on deploy, damage an enemy unit with bounty by 2. So I like how its bounty is sort of getting more support now, because I think the best cards really that were just working well with bounty were Graydon and the Witch Hunter Executioners, and that wasn't really a lot because Graydon was easily removed, and let's be honest, so were the Witch Hunter Executioners. Obviously, if you let the Witch Hunter Executioners stay there for a while, they're going to do some damage, but they're easily removed was kind of the problem. And it was good that this card has Intimidate, so it does support, it does get some support from crime cards. So the only problem with it is potentially is that it doesn't have a profit. So this card is really just meant to support for bounties and for crime cards. But at the same time, that's not so bad either. I mean, with being at 5 total life, it's kind of immune at the damage output from the unit cards. So you'll require some sort of like special card to get rid of it, because I think the maximum damage output I've seen from a unit card is 4, I think, or 3. So sorry about that cut. So the next card we have here is Radovid's Royal Guard. It is a Northern Realms card. It is a 4 provision with 3 power. It has a formation keyword, and on order, you boost an allied unit by 2. And if it's inspired, then you boost an allied unit by 2 and give it to armor instead. So this card is pretty decent support. This can be a potential portal target. The only weakness is that it can get easily removed. But what you could do possibly is, I'm not sure if portal activates the formation keyword. That's what I'm thinking. Like if you put the portal in the melee row and activate these cards, I'm not sure if it's like gonna give it zeal. I think it does. I haven't actually tried that. I really should. Because I don't think I've seen a formation forecast that I've tried putting on the field just yet. So we'll see. But this card is good for support. It can support the troll. Of course, it has to be inspired to give it that 2 armor. And I think this wording is kind of weird. No, it's not. Maybe it's not. Nope, it's not. Just kidding. So, no, I think this card would only be good with armor as an armor support, as opposed to like just giving an allied unit boosting by 2, because there are just a lot of other cards that already do that and they do it better. And those cards stay longer than this card does, because 3 power, not a lot of leeway there. A lot of cards this card can be easily removed. So that's why you got formation there, is you kind of got, I mean, if you choose to do the range roll with formation, it does go up to a 4. There are not a lot of cards there that can damage 4, unless it's a special card, I think. So yeah, I can see this card having a bit of potential, but we gotta see. Of course, it's one of those like we gotta see the rest of the expansion to see what the potential of this card is going to be. The next card here, we have the Iron Falcon Troubadour. It is a neutral card. 4 provision for 4 power. On deploy, you give 2 armor to a unit in your hand. So this card's pretty much what I consider a long con card. Is if you're giving it to a unit that needs barricade and that requires a bit more protection, you can play this card and sort of do that. 4 for 4 already is actually pretty good. It's net 0, which is nice. So you can use it to sort of further protect your defenders if you have any defenders that want to come in later, any of your barricade cards. So I can see this card being some sort of support, and at 4 provision it is pretty cheap. So I might see like 1 or 2. I might even put 1 or 2 of these cards myself in certain decks when the expansion comes out. This one was a bit of an interesting one. We have Lambert. So Lambert got reworked. I believe his old ability was that he got to destroy a unit with resilience. But now what he does is he's essentially the opposite of the Nilfgaard card Vreemd, where Vreemd pretty much boosted a soldier and all of its allies by 2, whereas this card just damages an enemy unit and all of its copies by 2. So this card is an anti-meta card in my opinion. Like this card, like this would do pretty well against Arach's Queen, Nilfgaard soldiers that require like making multiple copies. I think those are the only 2 cards I see that sort of make multiple copies of themselves in a way that would benefit Lambert. So if any of those cards make the meta, then we can probably see Lambert on certain decks just to counter that. And if you're not playing a deck like that, then you're probably not going to see Lambert at all. And I like how they say he's also a prick. That's a yikes. Next card here, I know it's not the last one. We have Sappers. It is a neutral card, 5 provision for 5 power, and on deploy you remove a unit's armor. This card is the big answer to expose. So you have cards like the ancient armor, because I know on the ancient armor the power is equal to its armor. You remove all of its. Sapper pretty much just absolutely removes the ancient one, I think, because I think if you get rid of all of its armor, its power is going to go to 0 and it'll get destroyed. This thing can definitely null Troll, the Troll card from the Northern Realm, so he won't be able to benefit from its ability. This card pretty much destroys all barricade cards. Of course, they can still get their armor up, but like you don't really want to waste a turn doing that because like you're going to be a turn behind while your opponent's going to be sort of going ahead. So I can see Sapper's essentially the anti-armor card. So I'm probably going to put a lot of these in my deck, and whenever I see any like, but of course at the same time you're not always going to see armor-based decks on ranked. But in the off chance that you do, this card's going to come up for sure. And otherwise, if the card doesn't even show up, like if there's no armor, if you're not even playing an armor deck, this card just gets mull. It's just mill target. So next we have a Skellige card. We have Terror Crew Plunderer. I think this is the last card on the list. Nope, it's not. Just one more. So this is Terror Crew Plunderer. It's a Skellige card, 4 provision with 2 power and 1 armor for 3 overall life. And on deploy, it's damage a unit by 2. If it's an ally, boost itself by 4. So this card actually puts quite a bit of a positive effect on self-damage Skellige decks with Svalblood and the what do you call it? The Svalblood totems. On the Olafs, the I think champion of Valimar, the one that lets you transform into the bear champion with 12 power. Anyway, it can even be used on Madman Lugos. So this card has a lot of potential to be support with self-damage Svalblood. Not to mention it does gives itself a boost. So for example, if you were to use it on a Berserker, sorry, not a Berserker, an Abomination, I think is what it's called, and you damage it by 2, and then you manage to get it down to that it transforms into its 5 counterpart. So this card is essentially, not only is it going to be a 6 for 4, but you're also going to get that benefit from the Berserk transformation as well, which I think is an extra 3, 2 or 3. But you're already getting more than enough out of this card. And the fact that it's only 4 provision actually is very cheap. So I actually like this card. And I like how that it has 1 armor. But I don't think it's going to be too beneficial because it's already going to be a 6 power. So it's just going to be 7. Well, in terms of like this card being able to protect itself from damage output cards. So, but yeah, I can see this card playing very well with supporting self-damage Fane. And I believe this is indeed the last card. We have Fane Tortoise. So this is a Nilfgaard card, a 7 power with 2 armor. That's 5 provision. And on expose, it's boost the highest power enemy unit by 3. So I can see why some people might think that this card is not so good, but if you combo it well, it can be played actually very well. So when if this card does get played out, it's almost certain that your opponent is going to want to remove the armor to get the benefit from that card. But here's the thing. Depending on the situation, I would probably want to play this as sort of a late game situation where you can see that your opponent has played like, let's say, an 8, 9, 10 plus power card. I would only best see it benefit in that situation because Nilfgaard has a lot of disruption cards that really mess with units. Not only does it lock, not only does it destroy your cards, you can use Village of Force to destroy that very high unit card because the fact that it's boosting the highest power unit by 3 pretty much just nullifies it if you play Village of Force, Yennefer's Invocation, Leo Bonhart. So there are just a lot of cards that can sort of answer to the card's exposed ability. And not to mention the fact that your opponent just to choose to target this, it's sort of one less resource for your core cards that could be used to like, you know, to their full effect. So they're pretty much getting this card is a pretty good diversion card from your main engines because this is too it's too sweet of an ability for your opponent to ignore. Like they're going to want to use this, but you know, obviously a smart person would wonder like why would they want us to use this. So the weakness would be that if this card was played as early as possible, then it's probably not a good thing. But it is a bronze card, so but I can see a lot of like potential combos that can go pretty well with this card. So we'll see, but I'm liking it, and it is a pretty high power card as well, so it'll see some value. And those are all the cards that I have for today. Like I said, I was gonna post a deck video, but these cards came out, so I just had to do these. I'm liking most of these cards. I'm not really too sure about the first one, but you know, again, we never really know until we see the full expansion. So leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment on any cards that you guys like, don't like, or you know, any changes that you guys you know, saw that you might, you know, want changed later on, and subscribe for more Gwent videos. Other than that, this is Enzo signing out. I'll catch you guys in the next one.